friends, this is Lulu Sketches. In case you're new here, I am an artist at Disney. I'm a background painter on Tangled the series, and I also do visual development and character design for animation. Today I want to address a topic that I get asked about a lot, which is how to make a visual development portfolio. I personally have both visual development and character design in my portfolio. When I was first hired by Disney on Tangled the series, it was because they liked my environment paintings from my visual development portfolio. Before we get into it, let me first explain what visual development is and the difference between a visual development portfolio and a character design portfolio. A lot of people are confused about what the term visual development actually means, and that's because it's an umbrella term. There are a hell of a lot of artist jobs that are considered visual development. There's a plane going over. Visual development basically means the environments, props, assets, textures, and color palettes created to develop the look of a film or TV show. There's another term you've probably heard of called concept art, which is pretty interchangeable with visual development, except I usually hear the term concept art more in the video game industry. Then we have character design, which is more specific than visual development. I get questions all the time about how to create a visual development portfolio in order to be a character designer. Character design is technically under the visual development umbrella since they develop the look of characters based on the story. But if you want to be a character designer, you would apply to character design positions and your whole portfolio can be character design. So, visual development is a broad term that kind of includes everything, but when it comes to making a portfolio and applying to jobs, character designers deal with characters and visual development artists deal with everything else. So if you just want to be a character designer, you can have a character design portfolio. But if you're also interested in color, environments, and props, visual development might be for you. If you're interested in both, you can have both in a portfolio. Being a full-time visual development artist is more common in feature animation than TV. There are visual development jobs in TV as well, but TV shows are made much more quickly than feature films. So doing visual development for a TV show that's not yet greenlit might only last a few months, whereas visual development jobs in feature animation could last years. Most visual development artists in animation will do something very specific. One viz dev artist might paint environments to figure out color palettes and the mood and the style. One might do iterations of cars and houses. One might just work on lighting scenarios. One might solely work on fashion for the characters. One person might have to think of the styles and shapes of Maui's tattoos from Moana. One person might paint turnarounds of interiors. One person might create iterations of snowflakes for Elsa. Or further along in the process, one viz dev artist might paint key story moments with the final color and lighting as a reference for lighting artists or animators. Any of these jobs would be considered visual development. So now that I've clarified what visual development is, if that's still what you want to do, let me explain how to make a visual development portfolio. First, I'm going to go over some basic tips that I know I've repeated a million times in past portfolio videos, but I think they're worth saying again. To have a great visual development portfolio, you first must have great draftsmanship. This means you need to be able to draw well. Include figure drawings if you want, show that you can draw from life. You also need to have versatility. You need to be able to adapt to styles quickly in order to work on different shows and different films. Being versatile will make you marketable in the animation industry. Also, make sure you show off your painting skills. Show that you understand color and that you can paint well. Many visual development jobs involve color in some capacity, so showing that you have painting skills in your portfolio will make you more hireable. Also, remember, story is king. When designing, always remember story. And lastly, fill your portfolio with things that you enjoy drawing and painting. This is so important. Only put things in your portfolio that you actually want to do professionally. If you really hate doing vehicle designs, don't put vehicle designs in your portfolio, because if you're hired to do vehicle design 40 hours a week, that would not not be fun for you. Now that I have those basic tips out of the way, a great way to start a visual development portfolio is by creating a project. Just a personal project based on a story. For this project, you'll design or paint whatever you want to do in visual development, such as environments or props, whatever you enjoy creating. To start creating your project, first you need to create a story that you're passionate about and you want to develop. You can either create your own story from scratch, or you can do a kind of a retelling of a classic story with a twist. I've seen a lot of projects that are a twist on Alice in Wonderland or Little Red Riding Hood, so I would recommend maybe not doing those. So if you want to do a retelling of a classic story, maybe try to find one that not as many people know about. Just try to make sure that your portfolio is unique. After you've created a strong story, you can use characters to help flesh out your visual development project. Even if you don't want to be a character designer, you still have to think about the characters in the story. If you're interested in painting environments, you could try to create an environment for a character. You could try painting a character into one of your environments to see how the two would interact. If you're designing props, think about your story and how the characters would use those props. And they can be any props you want. For a past visual development project that I made, I designed characters and then I designed couches for those characters to sit on. I put a lot of detail into what materials these couches would be made of because I personally love painting textures. Just do what seems fun to you. Visual development is really fun. If you're interested in vehicle design, design a bunch of options for a vehicle that one of your characters would use. For another one of my biz dev projects, I created a bunch of iterations of an ice cream truck, and then I chose my favorite one to render out and paint. In my portfolio, I included all the original rough sketches alongside the final rendered painted version. Always show your messy sketches in your portfolio. Studios like to see your thought process. If you like drawing and painting interiors, you could try designing a place where your character lives. Like, would they live in a house? What would their bedroom look like? What would be in their bedroom? What would the layout of their house be? If you love architecture, this would be a fun thing for you to explore. You could paint an isometric view of your character's bedroom, and then you could do a turnaround of the room where you show the layout of the room from different angles. If you enjoy this kind of thing, studios have jobs for artists who can visualize well in a 3D space. The fun thing about visual development is that it can pretty much be anything that helps develop the look of your story or a scene. So get creative, do research based on your story, maybe where your story is occurring, cultures that appear in your story, and you can include that research alongside your final designs or paintings in your portfolio. Brainstorm a lot for ideas and design and paint things that you really enjoy creating. I hope this video was helpful. If you'd like me to make a separate video about how to make a character design portfolio, let me know in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more videos. Bye! La 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 la.